Vampire's gay.
Oh, those guys are back!
All right, yes. Welcome to MG, Masculine Geek number 225, the live stream AD&D game, session 42. And without further ado, I'm kicking it over to the rational DM, Mr. Rollo Tomasi. Take it away.
Okay, well, we have a brand new player today. We have lost a couple and we have gained a single who is twice the man of all of them together.
Roar!
I have the Roar Squad captain.
Welcome to Ryan. Who hasn't played since he was 13.
So this is going to be even more fun than it was with TJ.
But has he read the manual?
He has it.
I've read the manual. I've got it.
Yeah, he's got it.
I sent you a link for it.
Yeah. He doesn't have the printed copy, so he's not actually he hasn't like drawn blood and like bled over the player's handbook yet. So,
dude, I got a woman in my house. I can't be showing these books off.
No, you can't. That'll really destroy everything.
You mean you're not a perma-virgin?
You kill him.
Some of the wildest women.
I want to do them!
Some of the wildest women I've ever met were Canadian sea cadets. So, like Naval ROTC, but these, Naval.
How long ago was this?
Nuts.
This was back in the early 1980s.
Okay, so you were a teenager. I was going to ask. The only reason I ask is because sea cadets are for teens, and I was just like, you know what I mean? Like,
I was one. I did all that.
Just checking.
It's different from space cadets.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed, but there's a lot of people on our little niche getting taken down now, and I can't take the risk.
Oh,
like I would set you up for a trap, Ryan.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, just to get things started off here, just so everyone knows, Ryan is officially the baby Huey of the show now, so bear with him. So the last time I left you guys, you guys had just made your way out of the Slaver Stockade. You are now on a beach with probably about maybe 20 slaves that are fit enough to walk right now. Duncan, you managed. Well, I guess Noble's not with us right now. Is he coming? Is Noble coming, or is he just?
He didn't say he wasn't, but he has the link. So
he said he was running late.
Are they faithful? They're faithful to anybody who's going to save them from their enslavement.
I am going to be taking the time as we travel to tell all of them about Pelor.
Okay. You're going to
recruit them.
Got it. So you are proselytizing right now, but you have bigger fish to fry because you have a dead child in your arms who is about 15 years old, and he is clinging to life right now, courtesy of a spell that is rapidly running out of time for you at this moment.
Right.
So that's your more pressing concern as you're on the beach. It is late afternoon, right around, say, about 4 p.m.-ish when you get out. Your ranger is pretty much more or less dead, but he is catatonic. He's on his feet walking, but he's still having sort of internal battles with Saro in the Soul Ring right now. So he's kind of out of commission. Amos is Hrothas's body is still in the border ethereal right now. So eventually, Dios is going to have to go back and or at least send somebody to go pick up the body of Hrothas, just because that is the way of your people. And so you guys are on the beach right now. Now, to describe the scene just a bit, we're going to do a little bit more theater of the mind for this particular session, because I'm working on what's the heck's the name of that? It's Dungeon Alchemist is the app I'm going to be using for the next session here as soon as I can set it up. But we're going to have a little bit more of a better graphical interface than just Photoshop, although Photoshop worked pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it.
But so anyways, we're going to be moving on to the third section of this 4-part series that we're in right now. However, that said, it won't take long for you to be discovered on this beach. There has been some sort of battle that was at the mouth of the cave that exited the under like the cavernous areas of the stockade. You don't see the stockade anywhere in sight right now. You're on a beach. It is a black sand beach, and it's not necessarily tropical. It's really kind of rocky rocks and black sand, but it's a sheer wall of a mountainside that goes up from the coast into sort of pine trees and more of a forested area that is the mouth of the cave that you guys exited from. However, right now, there are about 20 slaves that are in various states of undress, only because they have basically just burlap sacks to sort of provide them any kind of clothing. Then there is also the fact that, or a few other little details here. Duncan managed to find Morwen Elisar, which was the noblewoman he was sent to find in the first place. And she's got a bit of news that she is talking with Duncan right now, and I will relate that as soon as Noble gets here when he does. And then, last but not least, Blodgett, you have there's one female halfling that was one of the slaves that was aided in your escape. You haven't been able to sort of get a name out of her because you've discovered that she is stone deaf, which is why she is using Thieves' Cant to communicate with you. And the best you can make of her name is something like Thistle. And she is part of a thieves guild from a neighboring village that is not too far from where you're at right now. But she was captured because she was trying to essentially invade the stockade and sort of take what she could get kind of thing, but she was captured while she was there. So she wasn't really part of a previous expedition, but she just kind of got picked up while she was attempting to do some thieving. So she was thrown in with the rest of the slaves, and you guys managed to free her. She was the one who led you at least to the mouth of the cave, or pointed in the right direction, let's just say. So you have Thistle is with you, and she is also not, she's just basically dressed in just like sort of plain clothes. Pretty much took everything that she's got, all her tools, all of her armor, all of everything. So but she does have some skills. You're not really sure exactly what like level she would be, but she did belong to a thieves guild in a neighboring area that is somewhere on the Pomarge Peninsula, which is where you guys are at right now. You are on, the southern coast of the Pomarge Peninsula right now. So you're on the opposite side from where you began the first session. And right now, it doesn't look like there's any kind of rain or any kind of weather coming towards you guys, but there's definitely a mist that's starting to develop. The season is like about early to mid spring, and there is some a tropical layer of some sort that's coming up that's creating a little bit of fog and a little bit of mist as it gets on towards evening. I'm trying to think what else did I have to tell. Oh, and then so there are dozens and dozens of bodies laying around you. Every once in a while, you will see what looks like a dark elf or a drow, a very pale white elf that is dead here and there. And you're also noticing amongst the bodies, there are bodies of gnolls. And Grot knows what a gnoll is. Actually, pretty much all of you do. But gnolls are fairly rare in the world that was and the world that is right now. So every now and then you'll see a body of a gnoll. But I will let you guys take it from here. That's about where you guys left off. Drew, as far as Lupo is concerned, he is holding on. He still has vital signs, but he is unconscious. And the Death's Door spell that you cast on him probably has about another...
I didn't recover any of my spells previously either, so I have no healing spells right now.
Not at the moment. So, in fact, there's not really much you can do for them, but get creative.
I have no healing potions. Does anybody have a healing potion?
I am drunk, I have a gourd with alcohol. It won't help heal.
You're not quite in just yet, Ryan.
Oh, I'm not here. Never mind.
I'll put you in just a moment. Trust me, you're on the beach. Put it that way. Okay. So let's go. Let's start with Drew. What are you going to do, Drew?
Well, first, if nobody else has any healing potions, because I'm out of healing potions, I ask the slaves with us if any of them have any healing skills.
Basically, none of them do. No, none of them come forth.
Wow. I guess all I can do is pray to Palor and try to keep Lupo comfortable. Does he seem like he's, well, you know what? Actually, well, we can't take the alcohol yet because we're not with Ryan's character. If I have any wine or water left, I try to give him just little sips of this just to keep him hydrated. Obviously, he's been bleeding a lot. He's lost a lot of fluid. I ask for any spare cloths to make sure that we keep him warm. I don't want him to end up getting cold.
There are bodies strewn about the beach, so it would not be too difficult to find a random cloak or something.
Are we still moving, or are we stopped?
You're right at the mouth of the cave, and so some of you are moving or you're doing something else. But right now, like I said, your more pressing concern is Lupo.
If we can stop for a break, I ask.
You don't even know where to go, honestly. So.
Well, we've seen some of these knoll bodies, so I ask the people if they could all lie around Lupo and use their body heat to warm him while I go and take garments from some of these dead gnolls to be able to put on him to try to retain some of that body heat.
They'll help as much as they possibly can. Now, remember, the ones that you were able to save also went through the cloaker room, so they're still a little their brains are a little scrambled, but they're at least lucid enough to listen to what you say and take orders. So
if they can follow basic instructions and their bodies are still warm, they're useful for this purpose for right now.
Well, they're doing what they're told because you're really kind of the holy man to them at this point. Grot, what are you doing? Benny's with you too, by the way.
All right, I have him in the backpack. So we're at the mouth of the cave. How close is the sea to us?
Within walking distance, you can see the beach from where you're at.
All right. And do we have our characters? They have a pretty good idea of like where they're at, like in relation to the town.
They know that they're on the coast. So, and by the looks of the beach, like you yourself and let's see, TJ. Aldemar. He has a basic understanding, like when he's lucid enough to tell you.
I would say use Aldemar as an NPC.
Yeah, well, he's still with you guys, so for now. So he can give you basic like sort of compass, directions, and he knows that you guys are on the southern side of the Pomarge, which is basically a peninsula. There's the northern beach and there's the southern beach. So
all right, we should probably get the hell out of here as soon as possible and head.
Okay, what are you doing with Benny?
Yeah,
Benny's back in my pack.
Okay, he's kind of fidgeting to get out, so because he hasn't. Remember, you guys have been underground since.
All right, maybe he has to take a shit. All right, I'm gonna let him out and let him roam over a little bit.
All right, so Benny's down on the ground. He starts rummaging around through the bodies and such. Robert, Blodgett, what are you doing, man? You got Thistle in front of you, and she's trying to relate some things as best she can. Remember, like Thieves' Cant is like not sign language; it's just like it's a language amongst thieves. You'll have to unmute yourself.
You're muted, you fucking son.
Oh, are you asking me? I was telling my guys to bear with me. I was asking what a knoll was to my audience.
Muted.
Okay,
there you go.
Yeah, they it's basically a combat language. So, all right. I try to get what information I can. If she knows this area and if this was the way she came in is one thing. The other thing I need to know, since she's already got points in her favor because she's incapable of speech as a woman, could you give me a clue on her comeliness or charisma there?
She's cute. She's younger than you. But that doesn't say much for halflings. So
right, exactly.
she's a nice young 100.
Okay, so you're saying she's what, about a mid, above mid?
Yeah, she's okay.
Okay, all right. Hey, wait, we got to get these important things.
You don't have a new girlfriend, if that's what you're asking.
Where's the soundbite, Rollo? Where's the soundbite?
If there's any girls there, I want to do them.
For casting into the darkness.
Yes.
Also, I just rolled my luck points, and I got 3.
Oh, good. Okay, good enough.
And I want to know if this is the way she came in, or if she knows a quick way off this beach to somewhere where we might be able to get our wounded companion. So I'm talking to her.
She is only familiar with an area called Burka, which is along this. You're on the southern side, so it would be down towards the tip end of the Pomar. So at least she's sort of telling you that, giving you some basic compass directions as to where it is as best she can from, just talking thieves camp. But again, she's deaf, so she's just sort of, she's very intently watching you, because it seems like she's almost trying to read your lips too. So
okay, well, I make sure that I enunciate really well and talk both with my hands and otherwise. What is our elven mage doing at the moment?
He can tell you.
Jesse, what are you up to at the moment?
Dios. He's half elven. Yes, they look like hyenas.
Yeah. So I guess I'm investigating the bodies because I want to learn a little bit more about Marquesa. And on these bodies, do I notice anything? So I'm bouncing between bodies. Are there any items?
Occasionally you find what look like dark elf weaponry, drow weaponry. And you know enough about them to know that if they stay in the sunlight long enough, they'll end up disintegrating. So because they're Underdark or Underdark denizens. So very few drow actually come to the surface. And so that's what's kind of like really bugging you right now. You're like, what the fuck are these guys doing this close to the surface? Because they don't come this to the surface unless it's like nighttime, or they have something specifically, some specific thing that they're doing.
Okay. And these weapons, I'm assuming they're powerful. Is there a way to conceal them so that they aren't exposed to the sun?
The only ones that you would be able to even to hang on to for any amount of time would be like they're like elven longswords, except for their drow longswords. There are some daggers, and then they also possess what look like kind of like handheld crossbows, like pistol crossbows, and they're very finely made. But you know that if they are exposed to sunlight, they will disintegrate.
Okay, I'll take one of those daggers then.
Okay. Yeah, you can do so, but it has a limited shelf life.
So it's even if I conceal it, like put it in something so it's not exposed.
No, it's daylight. It's like radiation.
Okay. Well, then never mind.
Yeah.
Are there any other items like potions, things like that?
Nothing that you would be able to use. There are some vials of things, but you suppose that they're probably poison because that's what drow commonly use. So. They might have had envenomed weapons. Occasionally, though, you see them, like several of them fighting what look like the hobgoblins that we were talking about before, that are in sort of the black armor. And you notice on some of the gnolls, you see they have some sort of livery or some kind of iconography on them, which is strange to you because usually gnolls are pretty feral. And the icons that they have are, they kind of look like a 4-pointed star, but they kind of have like wavy bands that come from a center point on the star.
Okay.
So you're not really familiar with what it is per se, but you're the Elder Council, the high elves would probably know.
Right. And I'm going to take some of those vials of poison. How many do I find?
Let's see. Find 2 that are viable.
I'm actually going to give those to Blodgett and see if he could use them.
There you go, Blodgett. Have some poison.
All right. Well, while you're doing that with me, I'm going to share the information that I got out of Thistle with you as far as what she knows about the geography of the area and where she knows of civilization south of us, further down the peninsula, down toward the Keys, I guess you would say. And since Gray's busy and Grot is chasing after Benny to make sure he doesn't scamper off, I figure DS is probably the best person to talk to, since Aldemar is still talking to himself.
Duncan is having a very intense conversation with Lady Morwen Elisar and her vassals, the 2 of the guys that were with her party when she was captured. So some sort of pretty intense conversations going on over there. Okay. It looks like they're trying to keep it private. So Drew, you're not you easily find some cloaks that you can wrap the boy in if you'd like, so you can keep him warm and all that. But it's still the clock's you've never cast that spell before, because remember, it was just sort of an emergency granting, and so you don't know how much longer you really have with the kid. So while you're figuring that out, Grot, Benny's nowhere to be seen. He kind of scampered off somewhere where you weren't looking. So
I'm looking at the sandy floor. Do I see his tracks?
Yeah, you do. You see where it goes.
I'm gonna go follow his dumbass.
Okay, we look at what looks like you think you're not a ranger or anything, but you can certainly follow his tracks well enough. You get up. They lead up a sand dune with just some like reeds of grass and stuff growing out of it. Again, it's getting on towards the evening, so it's all like dusk right now. And you hear kind of this from over the sounds like it from over
I'm heading that direction. Is he like hunting?
You can't really tell right now, but it's definitely from towards the beach area.
Oh shit! All right, I'll head in that direction.
Okay, you get up, you crest the top of the dune hill, and you see Benny is he's got what looks like a human of some sorts in it looks like sort of brownish robes that is lying prone on the beach right now. He's halfway in the surf, let's just say, and Benny is tearing at the top portion of his shoulder right here and trying to pull at this person who's sort of laying in the surf there. It doesn't look like the combatants that were involved in the battle that you guys just narrowly avoided when you came out.
All right, can I make what race is he?
You can't tell from the distance that you're at. Definitely humanoid.
I'm gonna call for Benny, but I'm also gonna head in that direction with my greatsword drawn.
Okay. So you rush in that direction, and you see Benny has got a hold, and he's chewing on what looks like some sort of robes of a human that is sort of laying face down in the surf, just sort of halfway out.
What this
was washed up ashore on the from somewhere, either tossed overboard or something, and he reeks of some sort of very potent liquor.
Well, he's a fellow drinker, so I'm gonna
And if he lays in the, by the way, the tide is coming in, so that's why Benny is trying to pull on his.
All right, I'll go ahead, Grat, go over and turn over human or whatever figure to make sure he not drown.
Okay, Ryan, do you have your dice with you, or do you have
I do. I have the auto roll.
Means to roll a d20.
D20.
In fact, we're going to start using. I think we should start using auto roll so everybody can see everybody's stuff.
Yeah, I tried to add it, but the problem is if I add it on my screen, it'll be the
dice. Though.
We need to roll the dice.
I just bought a bunch of new.
We're not doing auto roller. No.
Okay, no auto rolls. Everything's on. Okay. Ryan, since you don't know, everything is on your honor. If you have no honor, then
yeah, I can put it on the screen. The problem is it's with the Patrick Stedman character, and you don't want it. So
no. Don't worry.
I got a 13. I had a 13.
Okay, you got a 13. So you roll him over, and he pukes, and looks like he's gonna suck in his own vomit if you don't pick him up.
All right, I pick him up. Grat throw him over his shoulder. Grat called to Benny, and we're gonna head back towards cave.
Okay, Benny follows along, just kind of plods along after you, as you're taking him back up to where everybody else is right now.
All right.
And let's see, Blodgett, one thing Thistle says to you in Thieves' Cant is it won't take long for them to figure out that we're here.
Okay. I will pass that information on to DS as well, since he's probably the only one around here, since I don't see Rot any longer.
I was going to say, you and DS are probably the only ones who didn't get majorly fucked up in the last fight. By the way, a lot of you, I think pretty much every one of you has taken some major damage from the last big one with Marquesa.
Yeah, I've got 22. I need to rest as well, but I've got 22 hit points.
Yeah, you'll be all right for now.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I will pass that information on to DS and try to encourage that we let the rest of the party know we've got to get going, and I'm sure that Gray will agree with that, since Lupo's in such a poor state. We've got to get moving towards some kind of civilization.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I've got a map of Dragon. What was it called again? Dragonfell map.
The Dragonfell Mountains. Yes, that's where you were.
Yeah, and map receipts as well. Do you think that your lady friend can figure that out, Bludgeon?
Yeah, she most definitely can. She listens. She can hear what he says, or she sees what he says with his by reading his lips.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm assuming she's reaching out for the map. So by all means, let her take a look at it.
Okay. What are you doing, Ryan?
I was trying to put the roller on here so you guys can see, but it doesn't work.
And then is your icon for
I'm taking this seriously, I promise. It was just funny.
Now she's deaf. I don't know she's deaf though.
You don't know, no.
So I am trying to tell her we need to get to the closest village with a healer.
Right. Well, she's poring over the map right now. Ryan, whatever your character's name ends up being,
I am Chi Chi, son of Chi Ki.
Cheeky? You're cheeky.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I got it spelled in the private chat. Dude, I'm a monk of the order. Yes.
All right,
Chi Chi, spelled Q-I.
Your nickname is either Chi or Q.
Yeah.
Okay, so Grot, the monk or whatever he is, the man that you have just saved from the surf, you can lower him into the beach up by where all of the former slaves are now trying to keep Lupo as comfortable as possible, and he kind of kind of burps up in your face and kind of belches in your face, and he's lucid and aware enough to know that there is now a half-orc looming over him. So, Ki-Chi, you're you now
see it rolls off the tongue.
You were actually thrown overboard from the privateers that had captured you from before, and now you have washed ashore somewhere. You have no idea where you're at.
Ryan thrown overboard is probably not the first time that's happened.
Yes,
dude, I was the best monk on board, and they abandoned me, and I don't know what to believe in anymore. I'm a nihilist.
Shit.
And I didn't drop, and I kept these gourds, and they're reminders of my pain.
So Vince, Grot, you got this guy laying in you, and he seems to be a mystery to you. Also, by the way, Ki-Chi, there is a badger that is also sniffing you and various body parts right now and trying to figure out what you are.
How close is he to my junk?
Not really. He's like sniffing under your arm right now.
Okay, then whatever. If he starts getting towards my junk, starts spazzing out. But until then, I got a nasty headache.
Well, it seems to be a pretty docile badger for what it is. So.
Yeah. My nose my face is red. I'm hurting.
So I'm slapping at your face and say, you okay?
Pull some of that ninja shit I did. The dodge move. I don't want to get slapped in the face where they see I have like, holy crap, he knows what he's doing. He's not an idiot.
Right.
Roll me a D20 real quick, Ryan.
Yeah, all right.
And Vince, you roll me a D20 as well.
All right.
Oh, fuck. First thing in, I'm fighting Vince. Come on, Morpheus is fighting Neo.
16.
16? What do you got?
13.
13. Okay. Vince, Grot, the half orc, you try to wave him away. He ends up snatching your hand as you drunkenly try to wave him away.
It okay. I saved you from drowning. What happened?
And I tell you guys a horrible story about how I was like a great monk, and then these guys betrayed me with some weird, sinister stuff and threw me off board. And now I just travel. I'm alone and I'm drunk and I don't believe in anything. But you saved my life, and I don't like this beach, and it stinks like lizards.
So
Grot, let me try to translate for you.
All right.
Lizards.
So wait a minute. Is he actually speaking common?
Oh shit! Yeah, does he speak? Hopefully.
Of course, I slur it out again.
Gret say what the fuck you say?
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna take my finger in the sand and lazily draw my fucking name.
All right. All right. Gret say well met, Q.
Yeah,
I can't read very well.
You get one letter out, and it's the first letter of your name.
Disgruntled head shaking commences.
Grot, he's absolutely schnockered right now. So you're starting to piece things together a little bit about the guy.
All right, so he was tossed overboard. He's some kind of fighting dude because he did have some kind of skill.
Yeah, he got skills. Yes.
Drunk to try to swat my hand away. All right, so All right, how far up the beach into the cave did I get him?
You're right up to where everybody else is right now. Hey, Thor's in the
All right, so I introduced my my friend Key I found on beach. Benny was sniffing the armpit. His name is Q. He threw up, and he seemingly thrown overboard from ship, and he all alone.
Okay, so
wait, we've got a drunken sailor now. That's what I'm hearing.
We have literal drunken sailor.
All of the slaves that were helping Lupo look at you like this.
Him friend
giving me side eye. Seriously?
Only the male naked ones.
So Chi-Chi gets up on his you're sitting on your butt, but you're kind of like, hungover, or you feel like you're gonna have a massive headache. Robert Blodgett, Thistle she knows the basic direction as to where to go to get to what she thinks is it's a coast town called Burka. Okay. She explains to you, actually roll me a D20 real quick, just so I can
certainly
how much you get of this, because she is
I got an 18.
You got 8. Okay, so you'll get all of this. She says she's a little bit concerned because it's the closest place that would offer any kind of anonymity. There's nothing safe about Burka, but it would you would at least be faces in the crowd there.
Okay. I will pass that information on to
Okay.
to Gray.
She also says that it's the coast town is it's formed around what she is as best she can say it to you is like a bayou of some sort.
All right. About how far of a walk is it?
You could probably make it there it'd certainly be dark by the time you get there. So probably by midnight, maybe about 6 hours from where you are at right now.
Okay. I will definitely make sure Gray is aware of that information.
Okay. And then
we need to make a stretcher.
She also explains to you that the town is it's I don't say a base, but it's a coastal city that is used by privateers and pirates as well.
Okay, so that means we might run into more drunken sailors there.
Yeah.
Did any of the bodies we come across have pole arms, spears, anything that we can use? Just a pair to make a stretcher.
There are like some of the gnolls had like halberds.
While these guys are figuring other stuff, I'm going to take some of the people we rescued, and we're going to collect a pair of halberds, spears, any additional cloth, and we're going to improvise a stretcher for Lupo.
Okay, roll me a d20 real quick there, Gray.
Oh boy. Oh, 4.
4. Okay. Well, even with that 4, you realize 6 hours down the coast, you are definitely going to exceed the spell duration that you have on him right now.
Holy fuck! Does he still have that amulet and that book on him?
I don't know. Why don't you go look?
I'm gonna search him for that.
The amulet is still around his neck. The book, however, is with Duncan because he had to carry the pack out for him. So the book is in the pack with Duncan right now. However, as you look at the amulet, you see that it is glowing a faint blue, and it seems to have just recently come up at a very, very faint bluish kind of glimmer, let's just say, to it.
Oh shit. And we lost our fucking wizard who could identify it.
No, we haven't lost all of them.
You got
we have
one.
DS.
I might be able to, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, because
Wow.
Rothas died.
People can.
Okay. I immediately I point out the glow and I ask if he could identify this. I'm just desperate at this point for anything that might have any healing properties so that Lupo does not die.
Okay. So DS, good old Gray comes over to you and requests your presence to have a look at something on Lupo.
Yeah, and I agree.
Okay.
Can I go ahead and roll for it to see if I know?
Well, first of all, tell me what you're doing specifically.
Well, we were getting the information from the about the maps, right?
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were just over there reading it with the thistle.
So with was she able to point out the direction on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she just related to you guys. It's about from where you're at. If you really hustle, you might be able to get there in about 6 hours.
Okay. Is that the same place as the pirate place?
That's where it is. Yeah, it's Burka.
Okay. So it's the same thing. Okay. Well, we're running out of time with Lupo, so yeah.
So you get over to him. He's like very pale, but you can tell that he is definitely being held on to his soul hasn't exited his body yet because there is something that's preventing him from like sort of expiring entirely. And Drew explains to you that that's the spell he had to cast, which was it's called Death's Door. It's in Unearthed Arcana, but it puts him in sort of a catatonic state until like for a specific duration of time, which Drew's never cast the spell before, so he doesn't know exactly how long it's going to last.
Yeah, the problem is I can heal too, but I'm all out as well.
Yeah, you guys are all tapped. Everybody's tapped as far as potions and everything else. So.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna check out this blue. What is it? Amulet.
Well, he has what looks like to you. Actually, roll me a d20 real fast. Okay. Let me see if I can give you your percentage dice on that one. Okay. 13?
18.
Oh, 18. Okay. So you recognize the amulet's not really even an amulet. It's actually a holy symbol that Lupo turned into a necklace for himself from the first adventure. You don't know that, but Drew would, so he'll let you know. That he's sort of taken an affinity to for the last two adventures that you guys have been on. And give me a wisdom check. You're a priest and you're a cleric magic user. Okay, good enough. Give me a wisdom check.
Right.
Roll lower than your wisdom.
I rolled 1.
That's equivalent of a 20 when you're doing it.
Okay. That's nice.
So you know for damn sure that the holy symbol is from a sea goddess, from the world that was, and the sea goddess is Ishara, and that her domain is warfare, fertility, and healing.
Is that a Shara?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Instead of sea goddess.
And it's a little strange because they're part of the old gods. They're part of the world that was. So you don't know very much about, like, it could be synonymous with another deity of today, but you do know that the symbol, which is a trident, what looks kind of like a rough trident, it is hanging around his neck and it is glowing a faint blue.
I'm gonna take it and put it in the water by the ocean, see what happens, but hold on to it.
Okay, so you're going to take it from off of his neck?
Yes.
Or do you want to take him into the ocean with the amulet?
I was just thinking about maybe we move him closer to the water.
Yes.
And,
why not? Let's do that. We'll take them all together then.
Okay.
Let's not remove it from him yet.
Cheeky, you see all this happening over here.
Yeah, what I wanted to do is whisper to the weasel, the little creature there. I'm like, hey,
it's a badger.
He's a badger, yes.
Badger, right? I should know this. Like, kind of give me a lay of the land here. Like, who do I try? Like, do these guys need help or what?
Okay, the badger looks at you intently, and he starts making badger noises, whatever those sound like. Whatever, I don't know how a badger sounds, right? And then you start making badger noises back to him.
Yeah.
And so he basically, they're animals, so they have animal intelligence. So every time people says, I talk to animals, it's not like Disney, okay?
Okay.
It's not like
people good, people bad.
He's a fucking Dr. Doolittle over here.
Yes.
So
yeah, I am. You know that if you weren't trying to attack me.
Out or what?
I wasn't trying to attack you.
You see the
Dick.
monk. The monk gets on all fours, puts his nose right to the face and the nose of Benny, and they start making like strange kind of clicking noises and squeaking noises towards one another. And yes, just like that. And so the badger explains to you what's going on, Ryan. He says, he basically says that the kid is in trouble and he's gonna die.
Well, you know what? I can't let a kid die on my watch. I'm a nihilist, but I can't let that. No, he deserves a chance. They needed to heal the guy, right? Like can I pour booze? Can I give him something to drink at least to make it hurt less?
You don't have anything on you whatsoever.
I lost my booze.
You have nothing on your person except for your gi or whatever.
We're gonna get some booze.
Well, I'm gonna try and at least stand and walk and help these guys out. They're dragging the amulet guy to the water. At least try and help out. I'm like 6'7", so
roll me a D7 or roll me a D20.
Okay,
when you try to stand up.
11.
Okay, you kind of wave back and forth a little bit, but your robes are water soaked right now, so you're very heavy.
All right, I'm gonna have to take that up. Do I have underneath my robes? Do I have that thing in the thing I sent you with all like the S&M gear, or is it just me?
It's just you right now.
All right, well, I'm not gonna start showing these guys my junk. You know what? I want to help, guys. I really do. I need a couple hours to nap.
So, without him knowing, he starts to wring out his robes and starts like getting the seawater out from him. But after you do that for a moment, you can now stand up and walk over.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Here, let me help you out with the amulet guy.
Let me help you along a little bit there, baby Huey.
Blue is interesting. My clan is red.
Okay, so Drew and Diaz, tell me what you're doing with the body of Lupo right now. He weighs maybe 125 pounds.
I take an arm and a leg, and I ask him to do the same. And so we just kind of carry him over and maybe set him down so that his legs and his body are in the water.
You pick him up, and he's still completely he is like unresponsive, period. But as you take him closer towards the surf, the intensity of the Dwemer on the holy symbol brightens up.
Okay, I pointed out. I say something is happening. Something is happening. While we're doing this, I put my ear over his nose so I can feel and hear for his breath, and I'm also watching his chest. Do I see or feel any change in his breath rate?
He feels slightly warmer. He went from pale and clammy to just clammy.
All right. Okay. So this is good. This is working. I said, okay, let's put him in the water, and then I just try to support him, keep his head up so that his nose and mouth don't go in the water.
Okay.
And I just keep watching into his chest and listening for his breathing.
Once you get him out to, like, DSU, you're with him as well. Once you get him out to the water, the trident around his neck, it gets to a point where it stays a constant, like, glowing blue. And so once you get his body into the water and you guys get up to about your chest level and he's kind of floating in the water right there, he kind of sinks down under the surf because it's the surf's still crashing on both of you guys, and he kind of goes under for a second, and then he comes back up, and he comes with a big gasp of air. He comes back up out of the surf, and he's looking at looking at both of you like, where am I? What's going on?
What was that witchcraft? What did you guys do?
I tell him to relax, breathe, just stay calm. You were injured, and you just needed some rest. You were injured and needed some rest. You must have hit your head.
Yeah, you look at the two arrow holes that were because he took 2 to the chest when he died.
I try not to let him look in that direction, and hopefully he doesn't notice the scars wounds, for a while. The wounds
scarify, but they do close when he hits the seawater.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's always.
Is this witchcraft?
Do you think that he is healed all the way?
He's definitely conscious. He's certainly back to the. He's back from his soul hasn't left his body. Put it that way.
I tell him to just relax. I get my wineskin again, and I tell him to sip slowly.
Okay.
Small sip. So I do give him a little bit more wine. No healing potions. I'm out of healing spells. This is about as much as I can do for him right now.
Okay.
And what did
Ryan?
What did the name of this goddess was?
Ishara.
Roll you a D what?
Roll me a D20.
D20. Get out of the way. 7. Oh, it's just like the old days. I can't get over a 12.
Yeah.
You suck at D&D.
Well, that's enough for you to catch on the wind a whiff of wine somewhere.
Oh, shit.
Oh, nice. I'm not greedy. Just a sip. Do I sniff that over by the water?
You
walk over.
You can't tell where exactly it's coming from.
Well, take a look around, see if anybody's holding any kind of container that holds anything. Do I see a container of
Brad
anything?
has ale.
You are not within sight of anything.
Oh, I can't
just
see.
put it that way.
Well, I'm going to go wander. I got nothing else to do. My clothes are dry enough. Let's go take a look.
All right, so the badger is looking up at you, wondering what you're doing.
Just come on, Badger. I need your help. Thirsty.
Okay, so you guys can walk Lupo. He's kind of like, he's really like, it's like he's dizzy. He's kind of like, seems like he's drunk, right? He's trying to sort of wander his way out of the surf right now, but he's like soaking on the beach and the surf right there, and he kind of drops to his knees for a minute. He looks like he's gonna puke, but he doesn't pass out or anything. But he looks like he got like the wind knocked out of him, and then he's like sort of standing himself back up again. So you don't know how many hit points he has per se, because you don't know hit points, but he looks like he is at least something's healed him and something is on the mend with him. So he is no longer, he's no longer at death's door. Let's just say.
All right. Blossom, after witnessing all that, I walk to the water's edge and obviously, get my toes in the water. And I take out one of the gold pieces that I've got from a pouch from our adventuring.
You have plenty, yes.
Yes. And I look up into the sky out toward the sea line of the ocean and say, thank you, Ashara. I didn't know you were still around, but thank you for watching out for the little guy. He's a good one. And I take the gold coin and throw it out into the ocean as far as my little halfling arms can throw it.
When the gold piece hits the surf, it kind of like it looks like a firefly for a second, and then it dies.
Shit.
Okay.
Prayers were answered or heard.
Nice.
So, anyways, let's see. Grot, what are you doing? You see the monk is now kind of wandering around. He looks like he might smell something.
All right, so
You're not sure what he's thinking right now because he's not really making a lot of sense. He thinks he's making sense, but he's not making a lot of sense.
I'm gonna follow the Q. I'm gonna pick up Benny and put him in my pack. And I ask Q. My introduction not happened. Very rude. My name Grat.
Grat, eh?
Yeah.
I met your squirrel.
Yes. I'm not going to correct you because you're going to get it wrong every time. So,
tell me more about Q.
Grat, this Benny and Grat. See you talk to him. What Benny say? He say we good people.
Yeah, he said you're good, and the kid's hurt real bad.
Yeah, the kid is Lupo. I don't know how to spell that.
Lupo. That's fine. I'm a little...
Lupo's hurt.
I gotta ask. I'm normally, and I'm slurring all this, but I can't. I'm not a good actor.
Yes.
I just need a sip.
You don't have to be. This is
anybody.
D&D.
Anybody has a sip of wine. That's all I need, and then I'll be like hair of the dog, and then I'm ready to kick some ass. And I'm willing to help. I will help you for a sip.
All right, Grat like wine. Grat like ale. You like ale?
Sure. It's booze, ain't it?
Yeah. Grat have good booze.
All right. Who's Grat?
I'm Grat, you dumbass.
Oh, Grat. I have you as Grot. Oh.
G-R-A-T, Grat.
Yeah.
Oh, at. Oh, I had it spelled with
an umlaut over it, so it sounds like it's Grat.
I got my notes. I'm working with it. Yes,
right,
please.
Take your note. All right, so Grat's going to hand you over his ale skin.
All right. Rollo, moderate sip. I may be a lush, but I'm still kind of queasy. And then I just want to get the hair of the dog so I can stand up.
Okay.
Grat give you ale skin as gift.
Okay.
Good man.
So it gives you an ale skin as gift. Okay. All right. So
these are my practice attacks, like to get warm up again.
So let me explain. Let's see if I can describe this to you, Q. How tall are you? What, 7'8"?
6'7".
How tall are you?
I'm 6'7", 155 pounds.
How tall is Grot?
Brad is also around 6'7".
Yeah, he's pretty tall.
155 pounds at 6'7".
It rolled it randomly. I would have picked a shorter guy.
Are you anorexic? What the?
I don't know. It's just I was always very quick, so I didn't need strength. I don't know.
All right, so yeah, Grat, tall brother like you.
Nice.
Okay, so Grot is about like.
Wait, Grot or Grat?
Grat. He is about as wide as you are tall, so he's also pretty jacked. He also wears a steel breastplate. He's got a two-handed sword that is strapped across his back right now, I believe.
It is, yes.
And so he's offering you this ale skin.
Yeah, and I barely have clothes, so.
Yes, you have just then
that's
now
it.
You've wrung them.
I think maybe I got a belt.
Grat give him extra cloak that Grat have.
Oh no, I don't need clothes. I have clothes. I don't need for nothing.
You don't need cloak
Simple
to
man.
keep warm?
That's what
man.
Where do you go to sleep in?
That's what the Badger said to you. I don't care about nothing.
Yeah.
So, Grat
power. It's in here. I make up some like chi mumbly jumbo about heat in my heart and chi or something. I don't know.
Okay, before I do that though, he hands you the ale skin. You smell that there is beer or some sort of ale inside of the skin.
All right, so take a sip, like enough to get this hangover out of my way.
Roll me. I now need you to do me a Constitution check. So your Constitution is what?
Where'd it go?
Let's teach Ryan how to play.
15. Yes, I know how to play. It's just I'm out of practice.
You gotta get a 15 or lower.
So roll a 16 or higher.
You gotta get 15 or lower.
Typical 10.
10. You got it.
Go.
Okay.
So, I told you guys I don't roll above 12 ever.
So actually, A success means you took 2 sips.
That's fair.
And it actually clears your head.
All right. I'll help you with the boy.
You join us. We're going to find town. We need rest.
Yep. Super happy-go-lucky. Put the wine chummy on my back or the ale chummy on my back and
so
let's Jackie Chan it in.
Grat, as soon as he takes a couple swigs of the beer, it starts making sense.
That's stupid.
He starts speaking in a way that you can understand. He's speaking like perfect common now.
Right. So, Q, you drink ale, you get normal.
Drunken boxing.
Grat, no, I have idea what that is.
Drunken boxer.
All right. So, you fight. Would Grat know what a monk is? I mean,
he seems like a holy man of some sort. You kind of like conflate him with like a priest or a clerk, like kind of.
So you
just be another priest to you. He's human. You don't know human.
All right. So yeah, not really. Grat. All right.
All humans look the same to orcs.
Yeah, pretty much.
You racist. I'm canceling him. I don't feel comfortable on this cast with him.
You should. Grat don't care if you feel comfortable, but as long as you make sense.
No,
Okay.
thank you, friend.
Robert,
Yes.
as you're tossing an offering to the sea goddess Ishara, Thistle comes up behind you, and she has a couple of torches lit because it is getting darker now.
Okay.
And it is getting on towards dusk, so it's already past sunset. So she's been sort of passing these things out to the parishioners now, the former slaves, I should say, Drew. A few of them have torches. Some of them from the walls that they pulled them from on the way out, as you requested that they did on the last time we were playing. So now you've got torches on the beach, which you need, but they tracers point both ways. So
okay. I'm not sure if I did in the last game or not, but didn't we give her like a short sword or something from one of the...
you guys can arm yourself. Not that the slaves would really know what to do with them all that much, but you can arm them. There's plenty of they're hobgoblin goblin made short swords, but they're better than nothing.
Yeah, so I make sure she has that, and I also give her like a couple of gold pieces and 20 silver just in case something happens and this all goes tits up. That way she's not completely boned, and trusting her that she'll stick with us, because there's obviously strength in numbers, but just in case something happens, I want her to have something that way, because there's not that many of us out adventuring in the world. Most of us are back home in our comfortable homes with our
in your hobbit holes.
Family.
Yes.
Yeah. So
holes. We can't say hobbit. That's trademark.
Yeah. So
Hobbit.
So, and I tell her to, these guys are good, but stick close to me, and I'll do what I can.
She signals. She nods her head. She knows what you're saying. Drew and DS, before you hold that thought real quickly, but as you're doing this, you see that Lupo's kind of he kind of has like the morning stares. He's kind of like he's trying to see where he is and get his orientation. He hasn't said a word yet. He's just other than like, where am I? And he looks over towards where Duncan is with Morwen, and he starts walking over towards Duncan and Morwen Elisar.
I stay close to Lupo as he does, and I put a hand on his shoulder. I turn him. I want to make sure he's looking at me, that he understands what I am saying to him. And I tell him to stay close, that he was badly injured and he may be feeling better now, but he needs to stay close. He needs to keep his amulet on. And if there is any fighting, that he needs to get behind me and not get involved.
He looks directly in your face, and he looks like he's acknowledging what you're saying. He just hasn't said anything up until the point where you said, keep your amulet on. He holds the amulet for a second, and then he is like looking at you sort of intently. And then he looks over his shoulder and looks over towards Duncan and Morwen again and starts walking towards them. So he acknowledges what you like. He just wordlessly acknowledges what you're saying to him, which probably wouldn't be too difficult considering how fucking jacked up he was. So.
I keep an eye on him, and I stay close as he's going over there.
All right, Diaz, what do you want to do?
I think maybe we should start moving. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm running point.
Let's get going because it's getting dark.
Okay, as you guys are watching Lupo kind of wander his way over towards Duncan, this new figure that you didn't see before comes up from over a dune hill. He looks like a monk of some sorts to you. Well, actually, to both of you because you're both.
He's with Grot, too.
Grot's with him as well. And so you can see that the guy is very tall, very lanky and thin. And kind of smells like booze from where you're at. Like you can smell him from 10 yards away. And he's in some now damp, like monk's robes. And you've seen these robes somewhere before, Drew. So this is the first time you're sort of encountering this monk for the first time, as well as you, Diaz.
Are these humans?
They are humans. Well, actually, they look human. They both look human, put it that way.
So I was thinking, could I add this to it too? Since the people that betrayed me on my ship were human, I can find loyalty again with the orc, but with the humans, I'm a little more like, bro.
Roll me a d20.
All right,
Ryan.
It's Chi.
3.
I really can't get over 12.
The only thing you notice, your monk senses notice, is that the not gray, but the old man looks very, very human. The guy standing next to him, you can see just a slight point to his ears.
Kind of be skeptical of that. Like, hey, I'm not gonna be jumping around anymore, but I'm walking carefully. I'm gonna look at the up and down the old man, make sure he's not doing anything. Look back at my orc friend and his weasel. And take their lead, let them like, who's this guy kind of thing, you know?
So
I introduce myself.
Monk comes up to you and he's got an attitude.
I just say, welcome. May Palor's light keep you warm and guide your way.
Palor is one of the old gods. He is actually one of the most common, oldest, easiest to understand god that there ever is.
Well, take a swig of my new god and say thanks, but I got this. Take a swig of the new god.
He is the god of He's the god of the morning sun that makes your hangover that much worse.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm usually a pretty good read on people. I don't know if I like them yet.
Without the sun's rays, the grapes that make your wine could not grow.
How old is Gray? What is his character? His age?
Mid-50s, almost 60s. He's getting up there.
So he's an old guy. He's like 55.
Ask the squirrel. Is he always like this?
Yeah. He's old and beat up.
Benny and Grat say that
Benny's is like kind of peering over Grat's shoulder right now, and he goes,
All right.
Grat say Gray is always very he uses lots of words and likes to talk.
Look, bro, I'm hungover.
All this
I'm here to help.
Transpiring.
Bro.
Also, I should say none of you have any light at this point, and the sun has just gone down, and it is it's dusk.
Grat can see in dark, so Grat not worried.
I might have something.
What happened to the lantern that Lupo was carrying before? Didn't somebody else
you look over and you see he went over to Duncan without saying a word. Duncan's looking at him. He leans over, grabs the rod that the lantern was on, lights the lantern, puts it on top of the rod, and is looking around like that's all he has to do in the world.
Okay.
And he is insisting, he's trying to take the pack away from Duncan right now.
I go over and I step in between and I say, the fuck you will.
All right, so you can stop him from from carrying the pack, but he's got the lantern lit.
He can carry the lantern, but that's it for now. He needs to conserve his strength. Okay, so Drunken Master,
the cleric leaves you to go run after the boy, and you're left with Diaz, the what looks like someone half human, half elf.
Some nice ears. Hello, sir.
No,
he seems nice. I'm like, hey. Yeah, I have pain in my eyes, but I want to learn to trust again. I don't know. You guys helped me. You gave me booze. I'm here to help. I hear the boy was hurt. What are we doing?
You reek.
We need to.
Yes. Oh, I reek. I may smell nice and I shower every day, but I do reek like booze.
I'm more on the kind of like on the noblish side, so I have a little bit more.
Oh yeah, you're
so
probably gonna snuff your nose at me, aren't you? and I take offense to that, and that sucks because we could have been friends. Look, man, I'm here to help.
All right,
I get it.
Great.
But I don't see a lot of people looking up to help you out here. So like, stow it.
How are you going to help with no weapons?
Ha! Is there anything on the beach, like a rock or a plank of wood or something hard and big?
You like beat your head into a rock.
I was gonna do one of them things where you like punch through a board, but I gotta find something first. There's gotta be something around.
There are no corpses everywhere.
Oh,
not where you guys are.
We're on the beach now.
By the beach now.
There's got to be something impressive I can do with a knoll. Probably not.
Okay, as you guys are having this conversation, and as Gray is sort of arguing with a catatonic, still kind of like dazed Lupo, Duncan
relevant.
and Elisar have sort of rounded up all of the people, and they are moving en masse down the coast now with torches in hand. And Lady Elisar has sort of stepped up and got all these former slaves to follow along with her. And Blodgett Thistle is with them as well. And so they are moving, which you believe what the ranger is telling you is moving south. So you guys are underway and moving down the beach.
Okay.
That sounds good.
So I presume the rest of you are going to follow along.
Sticking with Grat.
Yep.
All right. So you move. You can't really tell how far you're going because it is dark and it's a little bit difficult to understand. But like you get probably about 5 hours of walking in. And you haven't had any encounters up to this point. It is now nighttime and dark, but ahead of you, you see what looks like some sort of faint glow from somewhere along the coastline, and perhaps that might be the township that you are looking to find at this moment.
The town,
so.
Yeah. We had Grat and new friend Q heading direction with rest of retards.
Okay. Anybody else want to do anything before I bring you up to speed in Burka?
I think I'm good. I'm just sticking. I'm sticking with Benny and Grat.
Correct.
Okay.
Still distrustful of this guy and hurt my feelings.
Roughly an hour later, you guys are absolutely exhausted because you've been walking in beach sand for most of the way. Simply because it's more pragmatic to do that than try to find a coastal kind of trail. And you, right about the 5th and a half hour of your walking, you find what looks like some kind of trailhead of some sorts that looks very well traveled. And Robert Thistle is looking at this, like sort of pointing to it, and direction wise, like she wants you guys to go that direction.
All right, I will make sure Gray and Diaz and the rest of the Duncan and them know that that's our best bet.
Okay. So you make it, and now you can definitely see ahead of you, see the lights coming from what looks like a walled off city of some sorts. It is, by walled, I mean, it is mostly like a wooden sort of stockade area, but it is definitely walled off. It is a fortified city, let's just say. It looks fairly small. It doesn't look very, maybe by the Rangers' estimate, it's probably about 2 miles wide, maybe, if that, from what you can see from this side. So the trailhead turns into a path, which turns into what looks like maybe a wagon cart or something. It's very well traveled. And part of this leads down to the beach, where now you are seeing boats and small craft in the water, not like big giant like galleons or anything like that, but what look like maybe some trade ships are in the water, are moored in the water. And there's a few like skiffs and stuff that are probably used to go through. You can see from where you're at, from your vantage point, there is an entrance way that looks like it has a portcullis of some sorts. But again, all of this is fortified wood. It's not stone or anything like that. There are what looks like a gatehouse in front of you, where the path leads up, and then about probably about 200 feet from that down towards the coast, there's another what looks like a crenellation of some sort, or looks like another fortification. And then also up to your right hand side, up an embankment that leads to where the walls were of the walls of the mountainside. There looks like there could be another like a gatehouse or some sort of house up there, but the wall runs to the coast, comes up to where you are, where the gatehouse and the leads, and then there's another one that's up to your right now. So, and there are torches. It's very well lit in front. There is a line of people in front of you that are being allowed in to this area, and so they are stopping these what look like traders or merchants of some sort, and that are coming up from the coast and from the ships, and then they're bringing their wares through this gatehouse.
All right, I move up to where Duncan is and share with him what I know about this town from Thistle, and also point out to him, will the lady be in danger here if anyone knows who she is?
Duncan and the lady say that everyone here is in danger wherever we go.
All right. Well, what I'm curious is, since there's a chance of anonymity here, instead of saying who we really are or where we really come from, wouldn't it perhaps be best to put forth that we were part of a shipwreck up the coast and washed ashore around where we did, where we picked up the tall beanstalk, and as such, we're what survived. We don't know if anyone else from the ship, but we need to come up with the name of a ship that, and stick to it all
Here, why don't I just
together.
tell them the name of my ship?
Yeah.
Okay.
And tell them that I was shipwrecked, because I was. And it's way easier than making up this giant lie. I kind of see him struggling here, and I'm like, hey, tell the story.
What was the name of your ship, oh drunken master?
That's a great question. What do they call it? I guess they don't have names here. The ship was called. It's technically my father's ship, Shiki. It was the USS Stedman.
The USS Critical Failure?
Let's go with the Scaramouche.
Scaramouche. You put me on the spot. I'm from the Scaramouche.
All right. So we're survivors of the Scaramouche. That's
Exactly.
fine in D&D. And with the way everybody looks, some more ragged than others, that
on the
should be believable. So.
Okay, the other thing is this. So you've been traveling for about 6 hours right now. You guys are famished and you're thirsty as hell, except for Drunken Master, because he has been sipping on the ale on the way over here. So bear that in mind. Everybody roll me a d20 right now. Everybody, Samba. Including Lupo.
Call it. Say a 7.
French fabricators.
12. My luck is going up.
Okay.
7 here.
14 for Grat.
Okay.
12 for Blodgett.
All right.
3.
So 3? Okay. It occurs to God damn it. It occurs to Lupo that perhaps pretending that all the slaves are parishioners might go over a little bit better than pretending they were, overboard slaves.
Okay, so I've got 16 charisma. I could.
They also, and so you notice this when Lupo is sort of giving you this idea, because he was the only one who rolled a 17. That they're probably not going to believe you if they're carrying short swords into the socket or into the embankment here.
They believe me though. I'm not wearing anything.
Yeah,
I got a robe.
Nobody
That's
cares.
true.
Nobody cares about
So
you.
obviously I have like, you guys haven't seen my character sheet. I've got like no charisma. So I want to clumsily try to kind of like lead here as the passive one.
You got no game?
I got no game. Oddly enough,
Jesus
by looking at
Christ.
me, you'd think I'd have all the game. But I see everybody here with like the distrustful eyes with the thing. Like, I'm going to try, like, we're not armed. Or these are the practitioner guys.
Okay.
See,
We'll
yeah,
see
that
how
look you're giving me,
goes.
that's probably what they were giving me too.
So, Drew, you've got about 20 slaves. Morwen Elisar is sort of under the protection of Duncan at this point, but like the slaves, which are all carrying various like goblin-made hand weapons right now. What do you want to do? They're technically your people now.
Okay, they picked up the weapons, but not sheaths or belt loops or anything to hold them in.
Not really. Just enough to defend themselves if shit hit the fan.
They've been through a lot. I'm not going to admonish them for that. I will explain to the guards that we have been traveling and that normally we are very peaceful. We go out of our way to avoid violence whenever possible. However, it has been unavoidable in our travels recently, and they actually have never hurt anybody. These weapons were picked up off of the bodies of some dead gnolls that we came across, and they
Are
picked
you
them up.
explaining this to somebody?
I'm explaining it to the guard. Is that who am I talking to the guards about this?
Once you get to the guardhouse, you can.
Okay, so this
You guys haven't got in. You're not even to.
Oh, we're just ranting here on the beat.
Yeah.
That's what
okay.
you're telling us.
So when
Figure out
when
what
we are
to
getting,
do.
Get rid
I
of it.
will. I tell everybody. I will simply tell them that you're with me, and that we are on a pilgrimage.
To make
Or no, we're missionaries, because that would make more sense of the traveling. And I am a priest of Pelor, and these are my parishioners, my apostles, acolytes, whatever the hell you want to call. And you know what? When we get close enough to the city, they can just stash the weapons we could bury them somewhere or put them in some bushes where they can retrieve them if we have to come back out this way.
Okay. Yeah, they agree with you on that. That probably would be a better idea. Okay.
Just to make it a little easier to explain.
All right. So you guys are going to bury the weapons. That's what you guys are doing right at this moment. Diaz, you see all this happening. Is there anything you want to prepare for before you make it to the front of the gatehouse?
Do I get the impression that taking a quarterstaff in would be fine?
Yeah. There are some. You're noticing as you're kind of waiting in line right now. You're noticing that they are allowing what look like some people in with. They look like they have some open carry weapons with them.
Pretend you have a limp.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right, Rollo, does the guards require a peace knot on all weapons?
You don't know yet. You can't really tell until you get up there.
All right.
There's some people they allow, some people they don't allow.
All right. I'll act accordingly. I mean, I look like a bodyguard, so I'll act as if.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
So
guarding this,
we
like,
can
this
tell
religious mission.
We can tell them that you are our bodyguard. Perfect.
Correct.
okay. So you guys get up to the front of this place and finally get to
And Q too is a better
guards. There are 4 guards at the front of this. There's also like I said, it's a gatehouse, so they're allowing people in through this sort of portcullis operation right now. And there are it's lit by torches and lanterns from either side, so it's a very well lit area. And you can smell like food cooking from within. There's definitely some sort of something. It's not a celebration, but there's definitely some sort of like nightlife going on behind the walls there. Perhaps a market of some sort, or something is going on, and it doesn't sound like warfare. It just sounds like celebration. So you get to the front there, and the what looks like a sergeant at arms of some sort says, He looks you guys up, and he kind of looks at Drew, and then he looks at Blodgett and Thistle. And he goes, "You're a motley bunch, aren't you?" And he says, "What's your business here? What are you guys doing here? What do you want? And like, what's all these parish? What are you missionaries? What's this all about?"
Exactly. Palor bless you. I am a priest of Palor, and we are here to share his word as well as to do good works to help you to care for your wounded.
Gods in this town already, but what do you want here? What are you staying for?
A warm bed and a cold drink and just some good company, and then within a day or two
he looks at you when you say good company. He goes, "Ah, priest, I see. Yes, we've got some good company for you, priest. Yes, we can help you. We can help you."
Is he looking like happy? Like, what's his demeanor on this?
He looks like he's
Agitated?
No, not agitated. You get a pretty like affable read from the guy. He's just wanted to know why you're here.
Gotcha.
I give him a wink and I said, "Well, I haven't taken a vow of celibacy or."
Yeah, never do. They never do. All right. He says, none of this lot is armed, are they? He looks at you. He sees you have a mace, and he sees you're armed, but he's not making a big deal out of it. It's like it's
myself and my bodyguards. Also, I cautiously palm a coin, and I take his hands and I place a gold coin in it, and I ask, "Could you be so kind as to recommend the best establishment for a warm bed, cold drink?" Wink at him again. Good company.
How good are we talking about? He looks at his palm and he says, he says, "Now we're speaking my language." He tells you about this inn, and it's called the Sign of the Archer's Head. He says, "You go to the Archer's Head. They'll take care of you there." He says, it's a ways back. He says, "It'll take you about a mile to get to it from here, but go to the Archer's Head."
I thank him.
He mentions that he says you can go there, but it's more for your lot. There's other, he implying that there are other inns, but he says it's more for your lot. Then he waves you through. He waves through Duncan because he thinks you're with him or he's with you, and Morwen comes along as well because he doesn't know her from another one of the slaves that's right there. So he waves you guys through. Then he stops the drunken master on the queue and Grot, and he says, "All right, you two." He says, "You smell like a bar rag." He says, "Are you sure? You don't?" He said, "The drunk outside. They sleep out there by the front of the."
My friend Q not drunk. We bodyguards for this group here.
He looks at it, he goes, A half breed is a bodyguard. Well, I suppose things are changing.
Friend,
they pay good.
Leave my buddy alone.
Yeah,
I got this. Hey, yeah, guys, we're walking through. We're not causing trouble. I don't want to make it worse than it has to be. Come on, man.
So
there's how many guys? There's just the one, right?
There's 4 of them, actually.
4 of them.
There's only one that's doing the talking. The other guys have halberds and they are in chainmail armor. They look like
I can't punch this thing.
They have some sort of uniformity to them. They don't have any livery on them, but they have some sort of uniform. Like that, clearly they were made at the same.
All right, actually, let's make the case. Look, we spend a lot. We don't cause trouble.
He looks at you and says, "You spend a lot."
Obviously, that's why I'm so.
How much is a lot, Monk?
How much did I have on me when I made my character? 7 gold total, you said, or? I'm going big on the bluff here. I'm just handing it all to him. I'm like, here.
You have nothing on your.
I'm gonna give this Grat give the gate guard 10 gold pieces.
He says, now a man who has a cultivated sense of hierarchy.
Yes, Grat.
He says, "In with you."
Thank you. Where is nearest inn? We're thirsty.
He says, "Well, you could go to the. Let's see, where is it?
The Screaming Badger.
The Screaming Badger. There is no.
I like badgers.
Badger. Yeah. Although
we have
a lot of screamers here. but they're not badgers.
The Screaming Maiden.
He says you can go to the Archer's Head. He said that's a good one. Or he says there's also. He looks at you kind of sideways. He says there's the Star and Glove.
Does that have ale and cheese and wenches?
Oh yes, ale. Man,
I'm with you, buddy. That other guy talks too much, and the other one acts like a prick.
All right, so he waves you guys on through. Now he looks at Thistle and Blodgett.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
And he's all, he gets down onto his knees and he kind of squats down.
Wait, he does what?
He goes, "We don't get your kind here very often."
Hang on, one moment, gatekeeper. These small folk with us, they part of traveling group. They do tricks and such.
And he looks back at you. He looks back at you, and then he looks at them, and he looks at Blodgett. He says, "All right, son, do me a trick. Show me a trick."
Oh fuck! Don't fail me now, Blodgett.
All right,
Does your girlfriend? Does your wife do tricks too?
Well, let me tell you.
Not with your kind. All right, I'll pull out a coin and do some like twirling of the coin on my fingers and that kind of stuff. You know, feats of dexterity and
slow down, Copperfield.
Roll me a d20. Roll me a d20, Robert.
Oh, Christ.
And I rolled a 4.
Is that good? Is that bad?
Okay, you kind of clumsily kind of fumble the coin a few times, and he goes. And he starts laughing. He goes, "You don't know any tricks, do you?"
No,
Grad have really good trick. Look, see coin sack. Oh, look. Oh, Grad find another 10 gold for you. How's that for trick?
He says he doesn't even acknowledge you, but he puts his hand out like this.
Look, and you know trick too, because you make disappear in your coin sack, and then we all go through.
His hand out. He holds his hand behind his head.
He puts it. Grad's
he takes it. He goes. He looks at you. He goes, "For a halfling, you're very well armed," because he looks at your sort of bandolier of daggers, and you are basically a walking armory too for a thief. So.
Yeah.
So he waves you in. He says, "That's all right." He's all now. Then he turns. He steps back.
So you owe me money.
He says. He looks at you. He says, "You got these two with you?" He says, "You're definitely want to go to the Star and Glove."
Definitely good. Definitely a cheese ale and
So is
and
that where we are going?
He told you
to
to
the Brown
go to
Star.
the starfish.
The Brown Star, yeah, the squeaking starfish.
Squeaking starfish.
Lupo
you mean the queef?
still
You mean the
has
queef?
to regain his strength.
The
so
barking
he's not-
spider. Yes. Okay. Last but not least, Duncan's already in. And then DS, the ranger, Aldemar is with you. He's he's kind of like you're kind of like having to support him and carry him in. So he looks a little fucked up, and
we need to find healer.
And so there's another line that's kind of the line is still like forming up behind you guys. So he's kind of like just giving you the once over, but he has to do the formalities. So he looks at you and he looks at Aldemar Diaz. He says, "All right, states your business." He says, "Boy, this one looks bad."
Oh, this
Where
one
can
needs
we
rest.
Yeah.
He's
He says
exhausted compared to the others, but
He says,
a little bit of entertainment too would be nice.
and she says, He says, "Yeah, you're gonna need to go see the apothecary. This boy looks like he's near death."
Is there a temple nearby?
No, but there is an apothecary. His name is Hrothgar. He says, "Just ask about for him in the center of town. You'll find him."
Okay.
He doesn't even take money from you. He just like waves you on through because he looks at Aldemar like he doesn't know who he is, but he recognizes what he is. He says, "I don't know who you are, but I know what you are. You go see Hrothgar."
Thank you, guard.
So he doesn't even ask for money. He just like waves you on through. So
Must be
you
nice.
guys are now in the city, the township, let's just say, of Burka.
Right.
And
We're in the city
there
proper.
is You can hear some music coming from the center of from what seems like the center of town from where you're at. Directly to your as you guys get into the sort of like entry area of this. Once you get past, there's basically two gates. There's an outer gate and an inner gate. And once you get past the inner gate, you see, a walled township of some sorts. You can see probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units definitely in front of you. They are sort of bound together. They're very well made, actually, for what Thistle was saying is sort of a pirate's hangout. And then there is what looks like to your immediate right is a very large building, and it kind of Duncan understands and Groton understands that it's a barracks of some sorts. Like perhaps this is where those guys were from, right? And then to your immediate left, there is a warriors guild. Grot, you recognize what it is, and Duncan recognizes that it is a warriors guild that is off to your right. Other than that, you'll have to go explore the town because those are the only two immediate things that you can really see besides the main township that's in front of you.
All right.
So, do you want to do this separately, or do you want to do this with some sort of unification?
I think it's best that we stay together right now, because if we get split up and something happens to any of us, it's going to be tough. People that we've rescued, though, they're welcome. As far as I'm concerned, they're welcome to stay with us. They have to pull their weight when they're physically able and mentally able to do so. But they're not our slaves. They're free to go wherever they want. They don't have to stay with us. But I would ask that they do. And here's why. I'm saying you're not being ordered. You're free to go. But I would ask that they come with us because I need to report back when I return, and to have some of them be able to also tell what happened to them. They may have useful information. Or at the very least, maybe we can all sit down one-on-one and I mean, not actually play this out, but I can interview them and get as much information from them as I can to take back with me if they choose not to come and do that.
Okay. So you're trying to contemplate all of this while everybody's sort of looking around, wandering around. Next to the barracks, you see the most immediate building right now that the warriors can see. The people actually pretty much all of you. There's a stables that is next to that. And then immediately next to that looks like what is an inn of some sorts. A very small inn. And you see a sign outside and it says the Brook and Dragon.
I'm starving.
And there's definitely some commotion or some revelry that's going on inside the Brook and Dragon.
Gret say we need to heal Lupo before we get food and drink for ourselves.
Aldemar too. Yeah.
Aldemar,
the apothecary may have some.
Let's go. Let's seek out Hrothgar apothecary, and then we find food and ale and wine.
And maybe
is that good with your friend Key?
What's that? Okay, so where do you want to go? Do you want to go and explore what's like immediately in front of you, or where do you want to go?
Aren't we going to the apothecary to heal the kid?
Yeah, let's go to the apothecary first.
You'll have to go ask around for the apothecary.
All right. So, is there like a street like a passerby nearby?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of people around. It's bustling right now. In fact, there's people who are just sort of like in front of you right now, sort of arranging their carts with wares and food stuff.
Ask somebody who looks friendly.
Yeah.
Let that priest guy to do it. He talks a lot.
Yeah. Who have best running of mouth? Because Gret
16
not good looking.
16 charisma.
Gret have 8 charisma.
Yeah, I can do the talking here. I approach a vendor and I say, good evening, friend. We hear there's an apothecary nearby. Could you point us in their direction?
Okay. He says, "Oh, you're looking for Hrothgar, are you?"
Yes.
Okay. They all have kind of like they all have a distinct accent to their speech. They don't all sound like pirates, but they do have a distinct sort of dialect to their speech. Let's see. he says you're gonna have to you'll have to go in past the first avenue, or you can just simply go all the way around the wall, and then go immediately in from the beach, because the wall actually goes up to the coast and into the water from where you can see.
Oh,
and you could go find the middle of the town by going around the front of the township.
All right,
So we have to go back out and then go around the wall.
No, just from inside the actual
from inside. Which is the easiest route, because we have some very tired and hungry and some wounded with us.
All right. So he says he looks at you and he goes, and then he looks at the ranger, and he kind of looks sideways and looks at the rest of the parishioners. He says, "I can take that one," and he points to the ranger. He says, "I'll just guide you there."
Okay.
Like, they have some sort of weird respect for the rangers.
Okay. Great. That sounds good to Grat.
Like Lupo could follow along too with the light. So if you wanted to do that,
I am going to tell Lupo to just follow behind Aldemar. Stay close.
Okay. So Diaz, Aldemar, and Lupo will go towards the center of town and follow along with this guy who has some sort of weird respect for Aldemar.
The rest of us, he's not going to take the rest of us, just them.
Well, I mean, he says, "I'll take those two."
There. Oh shit.
You guys can go if you want. I mean, if you guys want to follow along, you can.
Yeah, let's follow.
Okay. Yeah, Grat
and
and Q bodyguards for this group, so we go with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think he's just a little. I think he's a little freaked out because there's so many people with you.
I asked the others to wait by this barracks, or wait by this inn that we were in front of, where there seems to be some festivities.
Well, you want us to wait?
No, just the other people that we freed. I tell them. So
Duncan will wait. Duncan will wait with them and Norway.
Fuck it, it's Miller time.
Just tell them not to attract any attention.
I guess
Avoid any conflicts.
Yeah, because that always works.
That's not going to work with this party.
Well, all right, so you guys move in. I'm just going to sort of randomly throw a few names out here as you pass by, as you're sort of making mental notes as you go along.
Write this shit down.
You pass by another stable. It doesn't have any sign out in front of it. It just looks like kind of a generic stable. So there's definitely two stables on either end of this main building that you're in. They are 2 and sometimes 3 stories high. There is, let's see. Oh, you go by, oddly enough, you go by a store that is closed right now because it's nighttime, but it has a sign in front of it, and it says the sign of it has a glass beads of some sorts. Like they sell glass beads there, which is kind of strange. All right. Then you go by a few residences that you don't really know what they are. And then let's see, going in, I'm giving these to you as you go by the most logical here. There is a blacksmith. It is the sign of the horseshoe that is in front of it. So you go past that.
Blacksmith.
In the alleyway past the blacksmith's area, there is, what is that? There is what looks like a potions or some kind of there's an herbalist that is there, but the shop is closed at this moment. Then you pass, let's see, there's trapping supplies like for traps, for trappers.
Trapper.
And then, let's see, he winds you around through another alleyway, and you go by, another stable. Lots of stables here. And then, let's see, that you also go by an armorer. All these places are closed at the moment. The shops or the retail spaces are closed at this moment. You go by another residency. What
was the name of that inn? The what glove?
Is the Star and Glove. You haven't seen it yet. Okay. You go by an outfitters. So there's like a sort of a general supply store there too. It's called Leofrix Gear from the sign. Again, it is also closed. It is everything is after hours right now. And then finally you go past another residence, and then you get to the apothecary's place, which is Hrothgar's apothecary. And the old man who is leading you to this place knocks on the door, and another old man comes down the stairs, and this is Hrothgar, and he slides open the door and looks at you. He says, "What do you want? It's late. It's late." And he looks out at you, and he sees Aldemar, and he looks at him and he goes, "Okay, get him in." So he opens up the door for you guys, and inside he looks like he is perhaps an alchemist of some sort. He has a lot of vials, a lot of pots, a lot of jars. There's some things that are alive in the jars, and there are some things that you don't even know what the hell they are in the first place. So he's tending to Aldemar right now, and he's kind of fidgeting with Aldemar's ring.
I tell him not to remove that ring. It is keeping him alive.
Yeah, he looks up, he snaps up at you, goes, "I know what it is." He says,
"I'm touching it."
Yep. Okay, so he is very extensively stocked. It is a shop with pretty much everything, local and imported. You see herbs. There are healing drafts of some sorts. There are things that look like perhaps they are potions. Much of this you see by lantern light and candle light. He is tending now to both the wounds of Aldemar, and he's having a look at Lupo right now, and he goes, "What's wrong with this one?"
I lean in close so that Lupo can't hear, and I said, "He doesn't remember, but he took 2 arrows to the chest."
And he looks at him. He says, "Let me see your chest, boyo." And he looks at it, and he says, "All I see is scars here. What's wrong with this child? There's nothing wrong with this child."
Wow. I also lean and whisper, the amulet he wears may have some healing magic, but he must have been healed by this over the past few hours, because earlier today he was in death's door.
Well, he looks fine. He looks fit. He looks fit as a fiddle. So he says, "There's nothing wrong with this child." He says, "But you will need some special herbs for this one." And he points to Aldemar, and he mentions that he has some herbs that are stimulants that will bring him back to life. And he looks over at the monk. And he says, "And probably this poor fool here too."
I'm sure that we can cover the expenses.
Right. He says they're going to be 25 gold pieces.
Does
I think we gave all our golds
Aldemar
to the
have
gate, didn't we?
I've got like 10 gold pieces left, unless I missed a whole bunch.
Grat has some gold. Grat, how much gold you want?
25 for this one. He says, "I have to cover my costs."
Can you do 20? We'll pay you back later.
He says, "All right." He's a ranger. He says,
Grat appreciate.
I'll give you the local discount.
Thank you. Could we Grat say appreciate that, and he's going to give him 20 gold pieces.
All right. So he takes it, sucks it down. He seems to really like perk back up almost immediately. So, does anybody want to buy any for the monk so he's like less drunk?
Yeah, I'm gonna
drink more, and then he'd be sane.
I'm gonna purchase him both a wine skin and another ale skin, so he has options.
Okay.
See, this is why I don't trust humans, but orcs are all right.
Okay. Where's
Give me
Blodgett?
those little like shoulder jabs.
While you're here,
orc pound.
Yeah. I will ask him if he has any healing potions that I might be able to purchase.
He says he can make. He says he could produce some for you, but it'll take at least a day.
Okay, and how much would it cost?
Again, 25 gold for a potion. He says, and it'll take a day to produce it.
All right, I will.
You can tell he has some sort of alchemist skills as well.
Okay. Let's see. I've got. Tell him I would like to have at least 3 potions made, please.
All right. So he goes, that'll be fine. He says, you'll have to leave a deposit.
Okay. How much?
I have trouble trusting humans.
I'm not human.
Smart man.
I have actually. He says that's why it's only $25 deposit, 25 gold pieces.
Gret thought you say 20 gold, not 25.
25 deposit. I'll make you 3, and it'll work. They'll work better than any potion you've ever had.
Okay, I will give him the 25 gold.
We're in the cojones.
Okay. So he's got you down for that. He makes you sign a ledger so he knows what your name is and who's coming back for it.
All right.
Sign Aaron Clary.
Okay, so you got everybody's pretty much back on their feet. There are basically some herbs that'll gain you back a couple of hit points each that he has that you guys can purchase as well. Right. As far as potions are concerned, he has the ability to produce them. It just takes time.
Okay.
So
that's good.
So you guys are there. Do you want to try to find the inn?
Yes.
Yeah, let's
sleep would be good.
Yeah.
Yes, because you guys are all of your especially your new parishioners are also exhausted. By the way, too. They were slaves not even 24 hours ago.
Even if we have to bunk them in the barn or something in the stables.
There are stables, but yeah, I mean you have 20 people with you, so that might be
which inn has an attendant stable to it?
Okay, in this place, let's see. Well, there is the Archer's Head, which is where they told Gray to take his people, and there is an adjacent to that. There is an abandoned stable. And there is another barracks house that is like almost directly next to it. So, so it seems like that's probably the safest place to take your people if you could bribe the people to get
the Archer's Head. Okay.
Yes.
No,
and there are. Let's see. There's the Archer's Head and Thistle and Blodgett also have found the Star and Glove, and then also the other inn that is in the front. That is there's another one. There's two more. There's the Sign of the Wave, and there is there's another inn called the Pits.
The Sign of the Wave in
and the Pits. From where you're at right now, there was the one that was also in the front, which is the Dragon.
What looks like it will be the quietest, the one that we're least likely to draw any unwanted attention?
The Archer's Head seems to be the most family friendly. It's the Motel 6 of this place.
You're gonna bring a giant green bastard into the Motel 6?
Yes, we are gonna bring a giant green bastard.
Sure, he's kind of a gray green.
I'm grayish green. Yes. So yeah. Let's go to the Archer's Head.
Okay, so you can get to the Archer's Head. It's very popular. There's a lot of people there. There's no way you're going to get 20 separate beds for this place, but they mentioned that the stables are available because they are now empty.
I would suggest we put all the former slaves, or maybe they're still slaves. We haven't decided that yet. In the stables.
Okay.
They've been sleeping on a hard cell floor.
Right.
They'll be comfortable on some hay.
Morwen is doing her best to attend to the slaves right now. It seems to be like their sort of Mother Teresa at this point, although she's actually pretty young. She's probably about 27, 28 years old.
And she's pretty much following our lead, right?
Yeah, more or less, but she's sort of watching out for the lesser people, and Duncan is with her because she is his charge right now. So
that makes sense. That's a good pairing. All right, yeah. Grat and rest of company. Gratno. Not sure what do next, but Grat hungry and thirsty and rest of group.
Do you want to do it here at the Archer's Head then, and just see what you can hear, like rumors wise, or?
Yeah, we're going to go to the Archer's Head.
There are a lot of people in this township. You can't even count right now how many people are here. So for a smallish place, it's actually pretty bustling. Okay. All of the rumors you've heard about it being sort of a privateers / pirates den. are only true for the coastal quarters. When you move further in towards the town, towards the proper part of the town, it's less so. But you can tell that it is definitely a new establishment, and so it's something that has been sort of a safe haven, and it's very well protected. So even for considering it's still solid wood walls.
Okay. So it's basically a good fortified town.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And there's also shipwright, and there's fishermen are everywhere.
Oh, okay.
And so there's netting, and it's a fairly well provided for place. So as far as rumors are concerned, there are rumors of spies about. So there are spies for the Slavers Guild, and there is rumors that the Slavers Guild has taken up, or there are have done some unnatural experiments at a fort somewhere nearby, which you guys are privy to, but you haven't sort of let the cat out of the bag yet with anyone. It's just from overhearing people and listening to conversations rather than sort of involving yourself in conversations, unless you want to. So before we finish out, is there anything in particular you want to ask or like sort of seek information in specifics?
I would be interested to know if there's any rumors of any additional, people disappearing or possibly
I don't even have to wait for that. Everyone in this township is well aware of the slavers' activities, especially like pirates and the privateers that come through here don't like the slavers. They are at war with the slavers because the slavers also have corsair fleets as well.
Gret wanted to find out if town people know hangout of slavers.
They
spy slavers.
So there are several rumors of a city that is in the middle of a lake at the top of the Drakensgrab mountains, which of course at the mention of that, DS understands what they're talking about because DS has lots and lots of scrolls and maps and ledgers and all the stuff that he pilfered from the leaders of the slave lords from the last adventure. So I'm going to presume you're poring over those while everyone else is sort of out having a good time.
Not in view of anybody else, though.
Preferably in his room.
In his room, yeah, he's in his room.
It's not the kind of thing you put out on the bar and start checking out.
Yes. Also, I have to point out that since DS is part of the Elven Council, he also has to sort of meditate and commune with the council and let them know that Rothos's body is in the border ethereal still. Please,
yeah,
somebody
for his body there.
Poor kid, he's dead.
Right.
Can they go get him and not
yes, you just have to meditate and communicate with them. That's what I was saying. So you don't have to astral project or anything like that. You just have to meditate and commune with them. So
I have a couple questions.
I'm going to presume that DS is memorizing spells, poring over the information, and communing with the Elder Council. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Yep.
Who was? Go ahead, Robert.
Blodgett.
I have questions if Thistle knows if she has any contacts or people here, and if there is a thieves guild here in town that perhaps I should report into.
Yes.
With what's been going on and see what kind of information I can get from them.
You already know that there's a thieves guild here because you have seen carven icons that only thieves would understand throughout this entire, when you're walking from the front gate all the way to the apothecary. It was very easy to see where they had, it's kind of like hobo's language, like a nice lady lives here, she'll give you like cornbread kind of thing. Like that's that kind of thing. So you can read the graffiti, let's just say. And so there's most definitely a thieves guild of some sort here. You're not really sure what the name of it is, or if it's because you used to be in a thieves guild. Like you don't know this because of Blodgett. You took over Blodgett's character for this one. but he was kicked out of his original thieves guild, and he was sort of went rogue, like he was a free blade for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't really been part of a thieves guild. You've been sort of an independent contractor for a while.
Okay.
And that's actually how you led everybody up to the stockade in the first place before you came into the fold.
Gotcha.
Here, Robert.
Okay. Well, this will have contacts here then with the guild.
Yeah. She knows, she could probably guide you to where the guild would meet.
Mm-hmm.
And it meets in the pits.
Okay. And does she want to, now that she's here in civilization, does she want to bug her off, or does she want to?
Oh, she's hanging out with you. She got nowhere. She's got nothing else. She was a thief, and then she's a slave, and now she doesn't have anything. So she's got to sort of like get herself resupplied, and so she can actually be a functional. Or she just wants to get her shit back, basically. But the slavers took all of it.
All right. Is there a chance
she wants to get her tools back? Is what she wants to get.
Okay. Is there a chance then that she can get some of that from the guild?
She could. Definitely thieving tools. She could, assuming she pays the union dues.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if she was a member in good standing here or not. So that's the kind of information
she doesn't know yet. But if they're in aligned guilds, then the possibility is that it's possible.
Okay, then I will.
Also, you're in a privateer area too, so anything could happen.
Okay. Well, if she wants to go in with them, then I would be willing to go and kind of back her play and see what we can get sorted out with that. But I would definitely want to meet with some of the more unsavory elements in town and see what kind of information I can get from them, especially if the privateers and stuff are opposed to the Thieves Guild. Then I might have some useful information for them, and they might have some useful information for us. So,
Real question for you: do I have any knowledge of this stuff with from my pirates that threw me off the board before?
You know that the pirates that threw you overboard were headed here.
Oh
shit!
I might inform these guys of this.
Now that you're sober enough to, you sober up enough. I seem to remember these guys talking about this place called Burka that they were headed to.
At least tell Grot.
Yeah, I'll tell Grot. I'm kind of thinking if these guys start to wander off, I might decide to head there and get a little bit of revenge too. But I'll kind of mention it and see if I can edge this guy in that direction.
Okay. And then on top of everything else, there is a temple area. You're not really sure exactly, Drew, you're not really sure exactly what god it is dedicated to, but there is what seems like an abandoned temple that is, let's see, it would be on the northernmost, the mountainside of the city. And again, it seems like from what you can gather at the inn, this temple has just sort of fallen into disuse.
I need to at least look into it. Share this with other priests of Palor. Maybe there's somebody that might want to come and set up here and get the place going again.
Okay,
if the community would welcome that.
So there is definitely a temple of some sort that is like sort of it's like an abandoned strip mall. Let's just call it that.
If we are able to investigate that without it interfering with other things we need to do, I would like to do that, but we'll see what it wants to do and what we are
All
able
right. So you can do that in the morning because it is way past everyone's bedtime and you guys are exhausted from the thing. But the good thing about this place, the Archer's Head, is they have very good food and their brisket is so we eat well, very well fed. Yes. So so all of you, with the exception of Diaz, who is busy doing his studies and is relearning spells and is communing with the border ethereal. You guys are pretty much all together in the Archer's Head Inn. Blodgett mentions that he wants to, probably the following morning, head out and look for the Thieves Guild and see what he can gather. Let's see. Drunken Master, Chi-Chi.
Yes.
You.
No,
you
Chi-Chi,
also-
you had it.
Chi-Chi. Okay, you already you seem somewhat interested in the abandoned temple, since it could at some point maybe become a base of operations or something for yourself. But you're also a little bit perturbed because now you remember that the privateers who threw you overboard, for whatever reason you can't remember, they were headed to this place. So
I know. Like, do you see what I mean, guys? Like, look.
Yep.
Temple, the slaves, all this stuff is good, but
It all comes together.
none of you guys have punched anybody in the head as long as I've known you.
Well, soon.
As long as you've known us.
Well, I've
2
only
hours.
known you for like a day now. But
I
I'm just saying.
feel like I've known you my whole life.
Look, you're looking for slavers, right? You're looking
Stop
for
it.
pirates and slavers. I happen to know pirates that are on the way over here that already don't like us, and I think they had slaves.
This is fortuitous meeting.
Yes.
Greg
Like, think about it.
just learned that word.
What's that god again? The one that talks a lot, Drew? Your god again?
Well, my God doesn't talk a lot. I talk a lot on his behalf.
Paylor.
It's Paylor.
Yeah.
His
Yeah,
servants.
Paylor. Look, Paylor would have wanted it this way. Trust me.
Oh, see,
I'm as clear and as sober as I've ever been.
It's inspiring.
If it makes life better for good people, I'm all in.
Oh, and not just that, they'll help you guys because they'll know more information about the slavers and the pirates than the barkeeps do, and the wenches. These guys are like, they deal with them.
That could
We
be
grab
info.
one of them, we shake him a bit, take his money, which is good because somebody is owed a lot of cash right now. Bailing us out.
That Greg
You get
help
your
out
purse
with me.
back. You
Yes.
get the information about the slavers, and I get to find out why they decided to throw me overboard. It's like win, win, win.
Okay, Jess, while you're pontificating here, Jess, I need you to roll me an intelligence check right now.
Uh-oh.
Better natural 20 this. I'm not lying to you.
12, which is good because it's under your intelligence. So, okay. So, what you have been able to glean. By the way, you'll be when you play next. You'll have a full spell load. You can like full spells again, and so can you, Drew. But in looking through the articles that you have with you, you find that there is still a trade route or a slave trade route that is headed into the Dragon's Grab Mountains, which is where they were going to take Lady Elisar. At some point, she was definitely on the manifest. You guys managed to stop that, or whatever combat and whatever battle took place. It was between warring factions of slavers. One of those slavers, you notice that again. You notice you make the connection between an icon that you saw on some of them, which was that 4-pointed star. But the way of this, instead of like spikes in the star, it's like 4 points, but they kind of wave a little bit. And I will show you what it looks like here in just a second because I have a picture of it. And where did it go? There we go.
Mountains.
And it looks. This is what it looks like. So that is what the symbol looks like. It is a black star on a red background or red
a slaver symbol.
Interesting.
It's one of the slavers' symbols.
All right, good to know.
And
The Sarlacc pit.
you have made a connection that there are two warring factions. And from the logs and from some of the written, I don't know if you remember the ogre mage that you did anything. Remember, he's still alive.
That asshole.
And you're not sure if Marquesa is still alive or if she is dead because remember she kind of escaped into the fire. So
Yeah, she wandered off.
You did manage to kill the gnome though, which was actually bravo. You finally
That was
put
yeah.
down
That
after
was definitely a feather in our
Yes.
cap.
Yeah, or in Blotch's cap, anyways.
Blotch's cap, literally.
She has to figure out what the hell that is. And so, anyways, you make that connection there, but you feel like that symbol is familiar to you, like it might be part of the old world or the world that was. And so you kind of have to bring that before the council so that they can give you a better understanding of what that is, and so you can commune with them and sort of bring that up for the next adventure, the next time we have a session. But there is definitely one of the factions, you're not really sure who it was, but then there's a much more organized faction of slavers, and they use that symbol. So something to keep in mind. And again, you are privy to this information right now. No one else is. So keep that exactly. Keep that bear that in mind. You can share that as liberally or keep it to yourself as you like. So but there's definitely more going on here. You also come across some logs about Marquessa's work and how distasteful the slavers found it, but the opposing slavers seems that they had put her under their employ. So perhaps that's what started the combat or the war between those two warring factions of the slavers. So it is possible, conceivable anyways, that Marquessa was part of the rival slave lords that used that symbol. So that part exists, and you're not sure how it fits in, but somehow the Drow are involved in this, and you already know that Marquessa is an evil elf. Only Diaz knows any of this right now.
So he knows it. The rest of us don't know this yet.
No, not yet, because he's still figuring this out while you guys are eating brisket and.
How is Lupo doing? Does he seem mentally to himself yet?
He's kind of daydreaming, or he's kind of like he'll respond to you.
He's doodling,
but he kind of if he's not directly talking to you, he seems like he has like the morning stares. Like he just.
Okay. I tried to explain to him what happened earlier. I've decided now that he seems healthy and I'm not as worried about him freaking out. Mm-hmm. I tell him exactly what happened, so that he is aware.
And he nods and he says, "Yeah, I guess that is what happened." He's kind of like dazed and doesn't remember. He's like 16 years old, so he's back from the dead basically. So it's like having a near-death experience. So everything is he's looking at things with fresh eyes right now.
I make sure that he understands that he is not to exert himself yet, though. We don't know.
Yeah, he looks like exactly. He could use a good night's rest, put it that way. So, all right. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. We'll pick it up next time I see you guys, whenever that is.
Indeed. What's your June look like?
Let's see. Basically all I do is... I don't have to go anywhere except for Vegas. The only thing I'm doing in June is just doing Access Vegas, and that's on Thursdays anyway. So
okay, all right.
I'm pretty wide open for these.
What about experience?
For now, we'll get to that on the next one. I still have to. I still got to do the math for that. But basically, it's if you're not up to next level, you will be like at the very least halfway up. But the more pressing problem is finding training.
Yeah.
So you have all the experience points in the world, unless you spend the time to train to get to the next level. Then there's really nothing.
You guys are lucky. I got to go Highland or some shit.
Yeah, you have to.
You're like the worst.
You know what you have to do. Yes.
I'm telling you guys though. I'm telling you. I don't know, but I'm guessing that them dudes on the boat are the key to this. I'm telling you.
All right.
Trust me, I haven't played this in 20 years. I know what I'm talking about.
We will talk with them.
Gret and Benny, keep that under advisement. All right. So I'll get another Twitter thread going with the dates we can play and get that on the books. So cool, excellent. So everyone, thank you for joining, and thank you for joining for the first time and continuing, Mr. Ryan Stone.
Yeah.
As always, Mr. DM, Rollo Tomasi, thank you. It's been a pleasure. And let me take us out. But before that, Rollo, take us out.
All right, here. Let's do this one.
If there's any girls there, I want to to them.
There, that's drunken master.
Hey, I didn't try to sleep with any slaves. I just want that known.
Not yet.
You.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Guilty.
That's for you.
There you go. All right,
I mean, to
everyone.
be
Until
fair,
everyone, until next time. Peace. Aaron Carter's gay.
It is nasty, right? Isn't it nasty? Oh.